When I got my wood burning stove, I had trouble starting a fire in there without using some kind of accelerant like lamp oil or one of those fire starting logs. Now I can start a fire with just a match. So whether you're building a fire in a wood burning stove or a fireplace, even a campfire, this method will work for all of those platforms. I think the biggest realization for me was realizing that small pieces start much easier than big pieces. You won't take a lighter to a big log and try to light it. It just doesn't work. You know it doesn't work. A wood splinter lights a lot easier than a big log. So logically, you need to make little tiny pieces. So basically, what you do is just split your logs and keep splitting them and keep splitting them and keep splitting them until you have splinters. That's really all there is to it. That's what I like to do since I cut my own firewood, is cut pieces that go the length of the wood burning stove and then also pieces that fit in the width of the wood burning stove. Now if you don't cut your own firewood, what you could basically do is take your long pieces, cut them in half, and then you'd have pieces that go across. And then you just start splitting those pieces into little pieces. You can start with a splitting maul if you want. Work your way down to batoning with a hatchet. I don't like batoning with a hatchet. I think that's a lot of work. Get yourself one of these kindling creators. They're really, really handy. I like them a lot. Well, you just keep splitting and splitting and splitting until you have pieces that are about the size of a pencil. Those pieces will start really easy. And then you put your long pieces in the lengthways of the stove. Stack up all your little tiny pieces across. I call this arrangement a ladder. Then put some other pieces going long ways again. And then add yourself a little bit of cardboard or paper underneath there. The nice thing about using this method is if it doesn't light the first time, you can put more tinder back in there. Try starting your fire again. So it's just that easy to start a fire. And if you're using a wood burning stove, remember, get your fire nice and hot before you start closing it down. And the way you know that you have a nice hot fire is to check the smokestack. If you can see the smoke coming out of it, you don't want to be shutting it down yet. If you shut it down while you can still see the smoke, you're going to have a creosote buildup problem in there. So I hope you found this information useful. And maybe now you can start a fire without having to rely on some sort of accelerant. All you need is to start making some small pieces of wood and you're good to go. Oh, and maybe a match. You might want a match.